Well, it's never going to get old on this show watching Joe Biden's press secretary get crushed in her own little conferences. But today I thought this was particularly interesting because they were talking about our next guest.
Does the White House have a comment on this social media profile that has emerged of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene? And is there a response to whether any disciplinary action should be taken against her given everything that's come out?
We don't. And I'm not going to speak further about her, I think, in this briefing room.
Okay.
Well, joining me now, and I'm assuming she does have something to say, is freshman Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is doing exactly what we talk about all the time on this show, making sure she is despised in the Beltway, which means she's probably doing something good. So, Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, outline before we get to impeachment, outline the Facebook stuff. We saw CNN run something on you today. Of course, they go digging through your social media past. What are they saying? What'd you do? Are you sorry?
Well, don't forget who these people are. This is the fake news media that has basically given an apology to her to violent riots all year long, where communist Antifa, Marxist BLM, have rioted in the streets. They're the ones that committed insurrection on the American people, attacking Americans, attacking businesses, attacking police officers, federal buildings, tearing down monuments, and so much more, causing billions of damage and approximately 47 people dead throughout this year. But they're the ones that have called it peaceful protests. And then we've got every elected Democrat member of Congress practically all year long promoting these riots, and even Kamala Harris herself, the vice president, sharing the Minnesota Freedom Fund link to get people to donate money and bail these criminals and these domestic terrorists out of jail. But they want to attack me because they're not very happy with me as a Republican, a new Republican member of Congress that just won't be whipped into submission like everyone else. I'm not sorry for standing my ground. I'm not sorry for that. And I'm not a perfect person. And I've had a lot of people manage my page over the years. I never made the statements that they're putting out there, but apparently there's been some likes on some comments. So I don't promote violence, and I always try to condemn it as much as I can, but I'm not going to cow down because the left has decided to attack me, and they're freaking out over nothing compared to what they've done over the past year and the past few years. They're just attacking me with the same playbook that they used on President Trump, Justice Kavanaugh, and many others, and it just won't work.
Absolutely. Don't apologize ever to these horrible people. Now, articles of impeachment. I have been saying for months that Republicans should impeach Joe Biden on day one. You don't even really need a reason, even though I'm sure there are plenty. If we're going to allow the left to abuse our president with impeachment at some particle process, then two have to play at that game. That's the only way to get them to stop. But elaborate. You're the one who actually did it. Why did you do it?
Well, Jesse, exactly what you just said is how the American people feel. 75 million, as a matter of fact. And the support is overwhelming from people everywhere. I can't even believe how many people reach out to me and are saying, thank you for standing up. Thank you for fighting back. And thank you for being brave enough to introduce articles of impeachment on Joe Biden. Joe Biden is guilty of abusing power. This is the same thing that they impeached President Trump on the first round when it was one great big witch hunt. But he is actually guilty. He is even on record himself saying that he would withhold $1 billion just to get a certain prosecutor fired that was coming after his son, Hunter Biden, who was basically involved in a huge energy company scam with a foreign country over in Ukraine, Burisma. We all know the story. And then everyone's seen the famous interview a few months ago with Tony Bobolinsky, where Tony B told it all about all of his business dealings with Hunter Biden, James Biden, and the big guy, Joe Biden. So this is a long history of corruption involving Joe Biden and his family. He's willing to sell out America through the vice presidency and now the presidency. This is dangerous to our entire country, and it does not matter if they have an R or a D in front of their name. I think he needs to be held accountable. He needs to be impeached, and we need to take the gloves off and treat the Democrats like they've been treating Republicans now for decades.
100%. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.